Elias sits quietly on his weathered wooden porch as the golden evening light filters through the ancient oak trees of Luminar village, his hands resting heavily on his knees while shadows of old worries dance across his weathered face. The gentle sound of the brook that winds through the village mingles with the soft chirping of crickets, creating a peaceful symphony that seems to whisper of possibilities he has long forgotten. His eyes, clouded with years of believing in scarcity and limitation, gaze toward the horizon where the last rays of sunlight paint the sky in shades of amber and rose. A warm breeze carries the sweet scent of jasmine from his neglected garden, stirring something deep within his chest, a quiet longing for the abundance and peace that feels just beyond his reach. Tonight, unknown to Elias, the universe is preparing to offer him a gift that will transform everything he believes about himself and the world around him. The old patterns that have kept him small are about to dissolve like morning mist, making way for a life more beautiful than he ever dared to imagine. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to settle into this peaceful moment. Let your body sink into comfort as we begin our journey together. In the tranquil village of Luminar, where time moves like honey and every breath feels deeper than the last, Elias has lived his entire life within walls of his own making. The cottage where he sits is small and cluttered, filled with the remnants of old fears and forgotten dreams. Books about limitation line his shelves. Newspapers filled with worry cover his table. Everything around him reflects the scarcity that has lived in his mind for so long. But tonight is different. Tonight, as the golden light fades into a gentle twilight, something begins to stir within his heart. The oak tree beside his porch has stood for centuries, its roots deep and strong, its branches reaching toward an infinite sky. As Elias looks up at its sturdy trunk, he notices how effortlessly it draws nourishment from the earth, how naturally it grows, how abundantly its leaves dance in the evening breeze. For the first time in years, he wonders what it would feel like to live with such ease, such natural flow. The sound of his neighbor's laughter drifts across the garden. Children playing in the distance fill the air with joy. Even the brook seems to sing a song of contentment as it winds its way through the village, carrying away what no longer serves and bringing fresh, clear water to nourish the land. Elias closes his eyes and breathes deeply. The scent of jasmine grows stronger, as if the garden itself is calling to him. When he opens his eyes again, he notices something he has never seen before. His garden, though neglected, is still alive. Tiny green shoots push through the soil. Flowers bloom despite his lack of attention. Life continues to create beauty, even when he has forgotten how to see it. In this moment of quiet awareness, Elias realizes that he has been carrying invisible stones in his pockets for far too long. Heavy beliefs about unworthiness, old stories about lack, fears that have grown larger than his dreams. But tonight, as the first stars begin to appear in the darkening sky, he makes a choice that will change everything. Tonight, he decides to put down the stones. As you listen to this story, feel your own body releasing any tension it has been holding. Let each breath carry away what no longer serves you. Elias rises slowly from his porch and walks through his cottage, seeing it with new eyes. Every corner holds a memory of limitation. The kitchen drawer filled with bills he worries about paying. The closet stuffed with clothes that make him feel smaller than he is. The mirror that reflects back only his fears and doubts. He moves through these rooms like a man walking through a museum of his own restrictions, Each step reminds him of the countless times he told himself, "I can't," or "I'm not enough," or "That's not for people like me." The floorboards creak beneath his feet, and even they seem to whisper the old stories he has told himself for decades. Stories about money being scarce, about opportunities belonging to other people, about dreams being too big for someone with his background. But as Elias stands in his living room, surrounded by the evidence of his limited thinking, something remarkable begins to happen. The evening light streaming through his window illuminates dust motes dancing in the air, and he realizes that these tiny particles move with perfect freedom. They float and spiral and dance without questioning whether they deserve to be there. He walks to his small kitchen and fills a glass with water from the tap. As he drinks, he notices how naturally the water flows, how effortlessly it nourishes his body, how it doesn't hesitate or doubt its purpose. It simply flows where it is needed. Outside his window, he watches as birds return to their nests for the evening. They don't worry about whether they deserve shelter or food. They don't question their right to sing. They simply live in harmony with the abundance that surrounds them. For the first time in his adult life, Elias allows himself to wonder, what if I have been wrong about everything? Just as this thought crosses his mind, he hears a gentle knocking at his garden gate. Through the window, he sees an elderly woman with silver hair that seems to catch starlight. Her eyes hold a depth of wisdom that makes his heart skip a beat. Her presence radiates a peace that he has longed for, but never believed he could attain. This is Seraphina, though he doesn't know her name yet. What he does know, instantly and without question, is that she has come to help him remember something important. Something he forgot long ago, but has always carried within his heart. Elias sets down his glass of water and walks to his front door. His hand trembles slightly as he reaches for the handle, not from fear, but from a strange excitement. It's as if his soul recognizes that this moment is a turning point, a doorway between the life he has known and the life that is possible. When he opens the door, Seraphina smiles at him with such warmth that he feels something inside his chest begin to crack open. Not break, but open. Like a seed that has been waiting in dark soil for the perfect moment to reach toward the light. "Good evening, Elias," she says, her voice as soft as silk and as comforting as warm milk with honey. "I've come to invite you on a journey." He wants to ask how she knows his name, but somehow it doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling that washes over him as she speaks. It's the feeling of coming home to himself, of remembering who he was before he learned to be afraid. "What kind of journey?" he asks, his voice barely above a whisper. Seraphina's eyes twinkle like stars reflecting on still water. A journey to let go of everything that isn't really you, so you can discover everything that is. The evening air grows softer around them, as if the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting for his answer. Feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation as we continue this gentle journey. Let your breathing become slower and more peaceful with each word. Elias looks into Seraphina's eyes and sees his own reflection, but it's different somehow. In her gaze, he appears lighter, brighter, more alive than he has felt in years. Without hesitation, he nods and steps outside to join her. "The first step," she says gently, "is understanding that everything you've been carrying was never really yours to begin with. These beliefs about limitation, these fears about unworthiness, they're like clothes that belong to someone else, but somehow ended up in your closet." As they walk together down the quiet village path, Seraphina's words settle into his heart like seeds finding fertile soil. The night air feels different now, charged with possibility and sweet with the promise of transformation. "Tell me," she says, her voice soft as velvet. "What would you like to release tonight?" Elias thinks for a moment, and then the words begin to pour out of him like water from a dam that has finally burst. "I want to release the belief that I'm not good enough. The fear that there isn't enough for everyone. The story that tells me I have to struggle to deserve good things." With each word he speaks, he feels lighter, as if the very act of naming these old patterns begins to dissolve their power over him. They walk beyond the village boundaries to a place Elias has never seen before, though he has lived in Luminar his entire life. It's a meadow that seems to exist outside of ordinary time, where silver grass sways in a gentle breeze that whispers of ancient wisdom and eternal peace. In the center of the meadow stands a circle of smooth stones, each one worn by countless years of wind and rain into perfect roundness. The stones seem to glow with their own inner light, creating a sacred space that feels both ancient and timeless. "This is the Whispering Meadow," Seraphina explains, her voice blending with the soft rustle of grass and the distant song of nightbirds. "Here, we can release what no longer serves us and call in what we truly desire." Fireflies begin to appear around them, dancing like tiny lanterns against the dark sky. Their light creates patterns that seem almost like writing, as if the universe itself is spelling out messages of hope and abundance. Seraphina invites Elias to sit in the center of the stone circle. The earth beneath him feels warm and supportive, like the embrace of a loving mother. Above them, stars begin to emerge one by one, each point of light a reminder that even in darkness, beauty and guidance are always present. "Now," she says, settling beside him, "speak each limiting belief aloud. Give it voice one final time, and then let it go." Elias begins slowly. "I release the belief that I am not worthy of abundance." As the words leave his lips, a golden butterfly appears in the air before him, its wings catching the starlight like liquid gold. The butterfly circles once around his head and then flies away, carrying his old belief into the night. "I release the fear that there isn't enough." Another butterfly appears, this one shimmering with silver light. It dances around his heart for a moment before following the first into the darkness. One by one, Elias names every limitation he has carried: fear of success, fear of failure, the belief that he must earn love, the story that good things happen to other people, but not to him. With each release, another butterfly appears, each one more beautiful than the last. Soon, the air around them is filled with dozens of golden and silver butterflies, creating a living constellation of released limitations. The sight is so beautiful that Elias begins to cry, not from sadness, but from the profound relief of finally putting down burdens he was never meant to carry. "How do you feel?" Seraphina asks gently. Elias takes a deep breath and realizes that for the first time in decades, his chest feels open and free. His shoulders no longer carry the weight of old stories. His heart beats with a rhythm that sounds like joy. "I feel light," he whispers, "like I could float away on the wind." Seraphina smiles and places a warm hand on his shoulder. "That feeling you're experiencing is your natural state. It's who you've always been underneath all those heavy beliefs. Now, shall we discover what wants to come into the space you've just created?" The meadow around them seems to pulse with gentle energy, as if the earth itself is celebrating his release. The fireflies grow brighter, the stars seem closer, and even the silver grass appears to dance with more joy than before. Elias nods, feeling more ready than he has ever felt in his life to embrace whatever comes next. The old version of himself, the one who believed in lack and limitation, feels like a distant memory now, dissolved like morning mist in the warmth of this newfound freedom. Allow yourself to go even deeper into relaxation now. Feel your body becoming as light and free as Elias feels in this moment. As the last of the golden butterflies disappears into the starlit sky, Seraphina stands and extends her hand to Elias. Your journey continues now into the forest of new possibilities. This is where you'll discover what you're truly capable of when you're no longer carrying those old limitations. Hand in hand, they walk to the edge of the meadow where an ancient forest awaits. The trees here are unlike any Elias has ever seen. Their trunks spiral upward like gentle dancers, their leaves shimmer with silver light, and their branches seem to reach toward infinite abundance rather than simply growing toward the sun. This forest, Seraphina explains, exists in the space between letting go and receiving. Every step you take here will show you more of who you're becoming. As they enter the forest path, Elias notices that with each footstep, the ground beneath him becomes more solid, more supportive. It's as if the earth itself is rising up to meet him, celebrating his newfound lightness with its own generous embrace. The trees begin to whisper as he passes, not in words he can understand with his mind, but in a language his heart recognizes immediately. They speak of patience and growth, of roots that go deep and branches that reach high, of the natural abundance that flows through every living thing. Deeper into the forest, they come upon a clearing where a crystal-clear spring bubbles up from deep within the earth. The water sparkles with its own inner light, and as Elias approaches, he sees his reflection on the surface. The face looking back at him is his own, but transformed. Gone are the lines of worry and stress. His eyes shine with clarity and purpose. His expression radiates the quiet confidence of someone who knows, without doubt, that he belongs in a world of abundance and joy. Drink, Seraphina encourages gently. Elias kneels beside the spring and cups the cool water in his hands. As he drinks, he feels the liquid light flowing through his entire body, washing away any remaining traces of old patterns and filling every cell with vibrant possibility. The taste is indescribable, like liquid starlight mixed with the essence of hope itself. As the water nourishes him, he feels his energy shifting, becoming more vibrant, more alive, more attuned to the frequency of abundance that surrounds him. When he stands, a magnificent golden deer steps into the clearing. Its antlers catch the filtered sunlight streaming through the canopy above, creating patterns of light that dance across the forest floor like scattered coins. The deer approaches without fear, its large dark eyes reflecting a wisdom that seems to span centuries. As the deer draws near, Elias realizes it's carrying a message, not in words, but in the feeling that washes over him as they look into each other's eyes. The message is simple, but profound. You are worthy of all the beauty and abundance this world has to offer. The deer nods once, as if confirming that the message has been received, and then bounds gracefully back into the forest, leaving behind a sense of blessing that settles into Elias's bones like warm honey. Continuing along the winding path, they discover a grove where trees bear fruit unlike anything Elias has ever seen. golden apples hang heavy on branches that seem to bow in offering. Silver pears glisten like jewelry among emerald leaves. Clusters of purple grapes catch the light like tiny amethysts. "This is the grove of natural abundance," Serafina says, her voice filled with gentle reverence. "Here, you can see how effortlessly nature provides when we're aligned with our true worth." Elias reaches for one of the golden apples, and as his fingers touch its warm surface, he understands something that changes everything. The abundance has always been here. The beauty, the nourishment, the support. It was never hidden or reserved for others. He had simply been looking through eyes clouded by old beliefs that made it impossible to see what was always available. The apple tastes like concentrated sunshine, like the essence of joy itself. As he eats, he feels his entire being coming into alignment with the frequency of prosperity and ease. Every doubt about his worthiness dissolves. Every fear about scarcity melts away like ice in warm sunlight. Birds with feathers that shimmer like silk begin to sing in the trees above them. Their song seems to celebrate his awakening, filling the grove with melodies that speak of freedom, abundance, and the infinite possibilities that open when someone finally remembers their true nature. As they prepare to leave the grove, Elias notices that the path ahead grows wider and brighter with each step. What started as a narrow, uncertain trail has become a broad avenue paved with golden light. Flowers bloom spontaneously along the edges, their colors more vivid than any he's ever seen. "This is what happens," Serafina explains, "when we align with abundance rather than fighting against it. The path becomes clearer, the way becomes easier, and support appears from everywhere." Elias looks back once at the grove, then forward toward whatever awaits them next. His heart feels so full of gratitude and possibility that he wonders if this is what it means to be truly alive. For the first time in his life, he's not just surviving, he's thriving. Not just existing, he's becoming. Feel your breathing becoming even slower and deeper. Let each word carry you further into peace and possibility. As they emerge from the forest of new possibilities, Elias sees something that takes his breath away. Before them lies a village unlike anything he could have imagined. This is Celestara, where abundance flows as naturally as rivers flow toward the sea. The first thing he notices is the fountain at the village center. Water dances upward in spiraling patterns that catch the light like liquid diamonds, then falls in gentle cascades that create the most soothing music he's ever heard. But what makes him gasp in wonder is that mixed with the clear water, golden coins appear and disappear, not because someone put them there, but because abundance is so natural here that it manifests spontaneously. "Welcome to Celestara," Serafina says softly. "This is what a community looks like when everyone remembers their true worth." They walk down streets paved with smooth stones that seem to glow with inner warmth. Gardens overflow on every side, not just with flowers and vegetables, but with herbs that smell like heaven and fruit trees so heavy with abundance that their branches sweep the ground in graceful boughs. The houses here are unlike any Elias has seen. Each one is perfectly suited to its inhabitants, as if the buildings themselves grew from the dreams and desires of those who live within them. Some are cozy cottages covered in flowering vines. Others are elegant structures with windows that catch light like jewels. All of them radiate the warmth of homes, where people live in complete harmony with their highest selves. As they walk through the marketplace, Elias watches in amazement as people trade and share with an ease that brings tears to his eyes. A baker offers fresh bread with such joy that receiving it feels like being given a gift of love. A woman selling flowers insists that everyone take extra bouquets because, as she says with a laugh, beauty multiplies when it's shared. Children play games that seem to consist entirely of finding new ways to make each other happy. Their laughter rings through the air like church bells celebrating a constant festival of joy. Even the smallest ones move with the confidence of those who have never doubted their place in a world of infinite abundance. An elderly man approaches Elias with a warm smile. "You must be new to Celestara," he says, his voice rich with welcome. "I'm Marcus. I've been waiting to meet you." "Waiting to meet me?" Elias asks, surprised. Marcus nods knowingly. We always know when someone new is ready to discover this place. It appears in our dreams first, then in our hearts, and finally in our reality. You've been walking toward us for longer than you know. Marcus leads them to a table outside a cafe where people gather not just to eat and drink, but to share stories and celebrate each other's successes. The table is laden with more food than any group could possibly consume, yet somehow it feels perfectly right. There's soup that tastes like comfort itself, bread that seems baked with gratitude, and fruit that carries the essence of summer sunshine. The secret of Celestara, Marcus explains as they eat, is understanding that giving and receiving are the same energy flowing in different directions. Watch. He demonstrates by offering Elias a piece of honey cake. As Elias receives it with gratitude, Marcus's face lights up with such genuine pleasure that it's clear he's receiving just as much as he's giving. The joy of sharing doubles the sweetness of the cake itself. As the afternoon progresses, Elias meets more of the villagers. There's Elena, who paints pictures that somehow capture not just what people look like, but who they truly are in their highest expression. Her paintings seem to glow with the inner light of their subjects. He meets David, a musician whose songs don't just entertain, but heal. When David plays his flute, everyone in hearing distance feels their hearts opening wider, their dreams becoming clearer, their faith in goodness growing stronger. And there's Luna, a gardener whose plants grow with such vigor and beauty that people come from distant places just to walk among her flowers. She explains that her secret is speaking to each plant about its unique gifts and thanking it for the beauty it brings to the world. As evening approaches, the entire village gathers in the central square for what Marcus calls the circle of gratitude. Everyone sits in a large circle around the dancing fountain, and one by one, they share something they're grateful for from that day. When it's Elias's turn, he stands with tears of joy streaming down his face. "I'm grateful for remembering that I belong in a world this beautiful. I'm grateful for discovering that abundance isn't something I have to earn, but something I get to receive and share. I'm grateful for all of you, for showing me what's possible when people live from their hearts instead of their fears." The applause that follows isn't just polite appreciation, it's a celebration of truth spoken from the soul. Everyone can feel the sincerity of his words, and their joy at his awakening fills the square like invisible fireworks. As the formal circle ends and people begin to drift toward their homes, Serafina takes Elias's hand and leads him to a beautiful cottage at the edge of the village. It's surrounded by a garden that seems to have been planted specifically for him, with all his favorite flowers and herbs growing in perfect harmony. "This is yours," she says simply. "It appeared the moment you truly let go of your old limitations." Celestara always provides what its residents need to flourish. Elias walks through the cottage in wonder. Every room feels like a space where he could create, rest, dream, and grow. The kitchen calls to him with visions of preparing nourishing meals for friends. The study whispers of books he might write and wisdom he might share. The bedroom promises the deepest, most peaceful sleep he's ever known. Standing on his new front porch, looking out over a village where abundance flows like water and joy rises like incense, Elias finally understands the truth that will transform his life forever. He doesn't have to become worthy of abundance. He simply has to remember that he always was. Let yourself sink even deeper into this peaceful state. Feel the abundance that surrounds you in this very moment. Days flow like honey in Celestara, each one sweeter than the last. Elias wakes each morning as the golden sun streams through his bedroom windows, and his first thought is always the same. Thank you for this beautiful day and all the gifts it will bring. His morning routine has become a celebration of gratitude and intention. He tends to his garden, which seems to grow more abundant each day, as if it responds to the love and appreciation he pours into it. The tomatoes grow larger and more flavorful. The herbs smell more fragrant. Even the flowers seem to bloom in more vivid colors than he thought possible. As he waters each plant, he speaks to it softly, thanking it for its beauty and its gifts. This practice, which might have seemed strange to the old Elias, now feels as natural as breathing. He understands now that everything in the universe responds to love and appreciation. His work in Celestara brings him more joy than he ever imagined work could bring. He has become the village storyteller, sharing tales of transformation and hope with anyone who wants to listen. But these aren't just stories. They're living transmissions of possibility that help others remember their own potential for abundance and joy. Children gather around him in the village square each afternoon, their eyes wide with wonder as he tells them about magical places where dreams come true and limiting beliefs transform into butterflies. But the adults listen too, often with tears in their eyes, as they recognize their own journeys in the tales he weaves. What amazes Elias most is how effortlessly everything flows now. Money comes to him through channels he never could have imagined. People offer him gifts simply because they want to share their abundance. Opportunities appear as if summoned by his growing faith in life's generosity. He has learned to receive with the same grace with which he gives. When Elena offers to paint his portrait, he accepts with gratitude rather than feeling unworthy. When David plays music especially for him, he lets the beauty fill his heart completely. When Luna brings him flowers from her garden, he receives them as the gifts of love they truly are. The cottage that appeared for him has become a haven of peace and creativity. Friends visit regularly, and every gathering feels like a celebration. The walls seem to expand to accommodate however many people want to share the space, and the pantry never runs empty, no matter how many guests he feeds. In quiet moments, Elias often thinks about his old cottage in Luminar. The transformation seems like a dream, yet he knows it was all real. The shift didn't happen to his external circumstances first. It happened in his consciousness, and then reality rearranged itself to match his new inner state. One particularly beautiful evening, he decides to write a letter to his old self, the man who used to sit on that weathered porch believing he wasn't enough. The words flow onto the paper like water from a spring. Dear Elias, of yesterday, I want you to know that everything you're longing for is not only possible, it's already waiting for you. The abundance you dream of, the peace you seek, the love you desire, none of it is being withheld from you. It's only hiding behind beliefs that were never true in the first place. You are worthy exactly as you are. You don't need to become better, do more, or prove anything to anyone. The universe is not testing you. It's supporting you. Life is not working against you. It's conspiring in your favor. Soon, you'll meet a woman named Seraphina who will remind you of what you've always known in your heart. Trust her. Follow her into the meadow. Release what doesn't serve you. Open your heart to what's possible. The journey from where you are to where I am now is shorter than you think. It's just one choice away. All my love and gratitude, the Elias you're becoming. As he finishes writing, a gentle breeze carries the letter from his hands. Instead of falling to the ground, it dissolves into golden light that spirals upward into the star-filled sky. Somehow, he knows that his words will find their way to every version of himself that needs to hear them, across all time and space. That night, as he prepares for bed, Elias looks in the mirror and marvels at the man looking back at him. This person radiates a quiet confidence and joy that seems to come from somewhere deeper than external circumstances. His eyes sparkle with an inner light that speaks of dreams fulfilled and purpose discovered. He thinks about how the old Elias used to lie awake at night, worrying about bills, relationships, and an uncertain future. Now he falls asleep each night, wrapped in gratitude and excitement for what tomorrow might bring. He has learned that when you align with abundance, the universe becomes your partner in creating miracles. As sleep begins to claim him, Elias whispers one final prayer of gratitude. Thank you for showing me that I was never broken and never needed fixing. Thank you for helping me remember that abundance is my birthright, joy is my natural state, and love is all there really is. The cottage settles around him like a warm embrace, and even in his dreams, he continues to live in the flow of infinite possibility. Feel yourself becoming even more relaxed with each breath. Let the peace of this story wash over you like warm, golden light. Time moves differently in Celestara, flowing in spirals rather than straight lines, so Elias is surprised when he feels called to visit his old village of Luminar. The journey back takes no time at all. He simply holds the intention to be there, and the path appears beneath his feet like a bridge of light. When he arrives in Luminar, he's amazed by what he sees. The village looks exactly the same, yet everything appears brighter, more alive, more beautiful than he remembered. The brook sparkles with extra brilliance. The flowers seem more vibrant. Even the air feels softer and more nourishing. His old cottage stands exactly where he left it, but something has changed. The clutter is gone, replaced by simple beauty. Sunlight streams through windows he doesn't remember being so clear. The garden he once neglected now blooms with flowers he doesn't remember planting. Elias realizes that nothing external has changed, only his eyes have transformed. He's now seeing the abundance that was always present, hidden only by his old beliefs about limitation and lack. His neighbor, Thomas, comes running over with tears in his eyes. Elias, you look like yourself again, like the person you were always meant to be. Over tea on his transformed porch, Elias shares his journey with Thomas, speaking of the meadow, the forest, and the village of abundance. But instead of describing these as distant places, he speaks of them as states of consciousness available to anyone willing to let go of what doesn't serve them. The most beautiful thing, he tells Thomas, is that none of it was really outside of me. Celestera, the abundance, the joy. It was all waiting inside my heart. I just had to clear away the beliefs that were hiding it. Word spreads quickly through Luminar about Elias's transformation. People begin visiting him, drawn by the peace and possibility that seem to radiate from his presence. He doesn't preach or teach in any formal way. He simply lives as an example of what becomes possible when someone remembers their true worth. Mrs. Henderson, who has worried about money her entire life, sits with him one afternoon and leaves feeling lighter than she has in years. Young Peter, who believes he's not smart enough for his dreams, discovers new confidence after listening to Elias's gentle words about inherent worthiness. One by one, the people of Luminar begin to release their own limiting beliefs. Gardens start blooming more abundantly. Businesses begin to thrive. Neighbors who hadn't spoken in years rediscover their friendship. It's as if Elias's personal transformation has created ripples of positive change that touch everyone around him. The most magical moment comes when Serafina appears at his garden gate once again. This time, though, he realizes she looks remarkably like the wise grandmother he loved as a child, the one who always told him he was destined for greatness. "You understand now," she says with that familiar twinkle in her eyes, "that I was never separate from you. I was the voice of your own highest wisdom, waiting for you to be ready to listen." As the sun sets behind the ancient oak tree where his journey began, Elias settles into his favorite chair on the porch. The same brook sings its eternal song. The same crickets chirp their evening chorus. The same jasmine fills the air with sweetness. But Elias is not the same. He has become the fullest expression of who he was always meant to be. He has learned that abundance isn't something to be pursued. It's something to be received. Joy isn't something to be earned. It's something to be claimed. Peace isn't something to be found. It's something to be remembered. As the first stars appear in the darkening sky, Elias closes his eyes and feels the infinite abundance of the universe flowing through him like a gentle river. He has come home to himself, and in doing so, has come home to everything. Now, as our story draws to its gentle close, allow yourself to sink even deeper into complete relaxation. Feel your body melting into comfort, like Elias melting into his chair beneath the starlit sky. As Elias sits in peaceful meditation beneath his beloved oak tree, the evening air grows soft and still around him. Each breath he takes seems to connect him more deeply to the abundant flow of life that moves through all things. His heart beats in rhythm with the eternal pulse of prosperity and peace that surrounds every living being. Let your own breathing become as slow and peaceful as Elias is breathing now. In and out, in and out, feeling yourself releasing into the same state of complete trust and relaxation that he has discovered. The stars above him twinkle like diamonds scattered across dark velvet, each point of light a reminder that even in darkness, beauty and guidance are always present. As he gazes upward, Elias feels himself becoming one with the infinite abundance that flows through the universe, like an endless river of light. You too can feel this connection now. Let yourself imagine that you are sitting beside Elias beneath the oak tree. Feel the warm earth supporting you. Feel the gentle breeze caressing your skin. Feel the profound peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you belong. I release. Elias whispers softly to the night sky. I release all beliefs in limitation. I release all fears of unworthiness. I release all stories of scarcity. With each release, feel your own body becoming lighter. Feel your own heart opening wider. Feel your own mind becoming clear and peaceful, like still water reflecting starlight. I allow, he continues, his voice becoming softer with each word. I allow abundance to flow through me. I allow joy to fill my heart. I allow peace to be my constant companion. Let these words settle into your own consciousness now. I allow. I allow. I allow. Feel the truth of your own worthiness filling every cell of your being with golden light. The cricket song grows gentler, becoming a lullaby that seems composed specifically to carry you into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. The brook's melody blends with the cricket chorus, creating nature's perfect symphony for rest and dreams. I am worthy. Elias breathes, his words barely audible now. I am worthy of all good things. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of joy. You are worthy too. Feel this truth settling into your bones, into your blood, into your very soul. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. Let this knowing wrap around you like the softest blanket, warming you from the inside out. As Elias settles deeper into his evening meditation, his breathing becomes slower and more rhythmic. In and out. In and out. Each breath carries him further into the space of infinite possibility where all things are provided and all needs are met. Follow his breathing now. Let your own breath become as slow and peaceful as his. In and out. Feeling yourself floating on waves of golden light. In and out. Drifting deeper into the knowing that you are safe, you are loved, you are abundant. All is well, Elias whispers to the universe, and the universe whispers back through the rustling leaves above him. All is well. All flows to me. All is perfect in this moment. All is well with you too. Feel this truth washing over you like warm honey, sweet and golden and completely nourishing. All is well. All flows to you. All is perfect in this moment. The golden light that filled Elias's journey now surrounds you both, creating a cocoon of peace and protection. This light carries the frequency of abundance, the vibration of worthiness, the essence of infinite love. Let it fill every space within you where worry used to live. I trust. Elias breathes, his voice now as soft as silk. I trust in the flow of abundance. I trust in perfect timing. I trust in the goodness of life. You can trust too. Release any need to control or figure out how your abundance will come. Simply trust. Simply allow. Simply receive. Trust, allow, receive, like a gentle mantra carrying you deeper into peace. The oak tree above you both seems to pulse with ancient wisdom, its roots deep in the earth of eternal security, its branches reaching toward infinite possibility. Feel yourself supported by the same deep security. Feel yourself reaching toward the same infinite possibility. As sleep begins to call to you, imagine that you are surrounded by the same golden butterflies that carried away Elias's limitations. Each butterfly represents a dream fulfilled, a desire manifested, a prayer answered. They dance around you in spirals of light, blessing your sleep with visions of abundance. In my dreams, Elias whispers, his words floating on the night air like flower petals on a gentle stream. In my dreams, I continue to receive. In my dreams, abundance flows like water. In my dreams, I am free. In your dreams tonight, you too will continue to receive. In your dreams, abundance will flow like water through every aspect of your life. In your dreams, you will be completely free to be your highest, most abundant self. Feel yourself drifting now, drifting like Elias into the space between waking and sleeping where miracles are born. This is the space where your subconscious mind receives new programming, where old patterns dissolve, where new realities take root. I am grateful, Elias breathes, his words becoming one with the night wind. I am grateful for this transformation. I am grateful for abundance. I am grateful for this moment. Let gratitude fill your heart as sleep claims you. Grateful for this story. Grateful for this peace. Grateful for the abundance that is your birthright. Grateful for the love that surrounds you always. The last thing you hear as consciousness fades is the gentle sound of the brook carrying away anything that doesn't serve you, bringing fresh energy for tomorrow's dreams. The cricket lullaby grows softer and softer and softer. You are worthy. You are abundant. You are loved. You are safe. All is well. All flows to you. Rest now. Rest in the knowing. Rest in the abundance. Rest in the peace. Sleep now, dear one. Sleep in the golden light of infinite possibility. Sleep in the warm embrace of universal love. Sleep knowing that tomorrow you will wake renewed, refreshed, and aligned with all the abundance that is yours by right. Let go now. Release. Allow. Receive. Sleep. And dream of abundance. Sleep. And know you are worthy. Sleep in perfect peace.